What's up, guys? Hello, everyone. Just trying to get the host streams in order. What did I even say? Streams? Trying to get the stream in order. Just forgot I needed to plug my mic. I'm just trying to fix that right now. So hope I didn't create any noise. Yeah. Okay. So welcome back, guys. I'm basically almost past the streaming time because these are actually midnight from where I'm staying. So this is midnight in UAE. Um, but I just kind of want to go ahead with it and stream. As long as you guys are happy with it, and most of you have been requesting that kind of like keep on streaming on every single day. So uh, yeah, so basically that's this. I'll be doing more of flutter today, so I'm hoping to kind of work more with flutter. So that's what we kind of like trying to achieve today. Flutter development and trying to build an app called Dona. Kind of like I saw that on Dribble. Okay, we got a question on chat. So someone is asking, can you give me a name of the music? Hi, bro. Actually, kind of like I don't still remember the name, but like I said, I can send you the file. Just send me your email. On 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 Instagram. On Instagram, send me an email. I can just send you the file. I just have the file on my local device, which is here on my laptop. I just send it to you. If you cannot give me your email on Instagram, I'm happy to do that. No issue. Yeah. So let's go ahead and show you guys basically what I'm trying to create today. Um, what we'll actually be doing today. I'm gonna replace what we have here and paste the URL to where we should be. So this is basically the stuff we'll be creating. Basically we're focusing on the settings page. Like I said, the app is called Dona, and I don't have the right to the design or whatsoever. So guys, the right doesn't belong to me. It belongs to our Aaron Eka. I don't know. I think I got the name wrong, but yeah, it belongs to the designer Aaron Eka, and also belongs to Jacob Atalik. So I don't have any affiliation with the design. I don't own it. So just to let that known to everyone. So basically, we'll be trying to create this from starts. Yeah, we'll be focusing on having something like this. Also trying to implement the theme change and all those stuff. So that's basically what we'll be focusing on, and the app will also be running. We'll make it to run on both mobile, web, and desktop. So yeah, since we are just using Flutter for the whole stuff. Yeah. I don't know if you guys are if the stream is working fine wherever you're watching from. For those watching on LinkedIn, I don't know if LinkedIn stream is fine, but if you're having issue on LinkedIn, you can just go straight to my YouTube. YouTube is actually fine. I'm not having issue with YouTube. I don't think anyone is having issue with YouTube. So yeah, that being said, so we can actually jump in here and start coding. So first of all, I will need to put this aside, and I don't want to close the whole stuff since we okay, yeah, put it there, please. And next I'm going to close this and open up my hyper terminal, since we'll be using hyper terminal for the development. And I'm going to say cd, and then go ahead and list all my folders. So I always basically use my Flutter folder. So that's I build everything I'm going to create, or whatever I do with Flutter. I create a separate development folder for it. I call it Flutter Dev. I'm just going to cd into that folder. So basically cd, and then when we cd, I'm just going to go ahead and clear my terminal. Once we get the terminal cleared, so the next stuff we can actually do is to go ahead and start creating a bootstrap a Flutter dummy project. So I'm going to say Flutter create. So this is the command to create a Flutter project, and we're going to call this Dona. I'm going to call this fake Dona app, since this is not the original app. Like I said, I'm not the owner. So I'm just naming it fake Dona app. So just to keep that clear. So we're gonna wait for this to create our Flutter app. So once this creates our Flutter app, I'm going to go ahead and see it inside the folder. So the folder is called fake Dona app, so cd in there, paste, and I'm going to go ahead and clear this out. Once we have that done, next I'm going to go ahead and open this on my VS Code by typing code dots. So this is open a VS Code with the project we just created right now. I'll open this and just minimize this. I don't need this anymore. Go ahead and minimize it and open this one, expand it a bit. Yep, I think that's okay right now. I think I can just minimize it a bit more. Yeah, just leave it this way. We can just go straight to the leaf folder. So for the screen, you mean the streaming, you want me to make the screen big, right? I think that's what you're asking for. I can. If that is the case, I think I had an issue with my streaming platform, which is OBS. Not kind of like I'm having issue trying to make the whole stuff kind of like expand more on the OBS preview screen, but it's not working, so I haven't figured that out yet. So kind of like always clip my video to some extent, so I'm trying to figure that out. When I figure that out, I'll actually expand the screen. And yeah, over here this is our dummy project created by Flutter. So the next thing, I'll just go ahead and run this. Most of you already know how to run your dummy Flutter project. So basically select device, and like I said, we are going to run this on Mac OS. Would that make sense? Or web? I think we can just try it on Mac OS. Yeah, run the app on Mac OS. So basically go ahead and run without debugging. Wait for this to actually finish. Bring this up. Guys, if you have a question, just drop it on the chat. I'll be looking through the chat and I'll be answering your questions. So yeah, feel free to communicate through the chat. And if you're on Twitch, I'll also be looking on Twitch also. So see if anyone is dropping a chat on Twitch. So yeah, we have this running up. So we already have a Flutter app showing up here. So this is the Brewster Flutter app, but from this we are looking towards to transform this to this. So this is the final stuff we are trying to get to. We are moving this to this. So I'm going to see how fast we can actually be able to do that before the day break. So like I said, it's actually 1:22 a.m. At my current location. So let's see. So next stuff we can actually do, I will go ahead and remove all this stuff that we have here, so we don't need this anymore. First of all, what you can actually do is to remove the check mark. You guys already know how to do that, so we just head over here, just tap debug check mark and set this to false. So once you set this to false and save your project, this will be removed. The check mark will just go away since we don't need it anymore. And next stuff I could actually do is to remove this dummy project. So this is how to remove a dummy project. Basically delete all this stuff. We get that deleted. So once that is deleted, next stuff we can actually do is to go ahead, we need to replace this with something else. So I will head over to my folder, create a new folder here, and I'm going to call this folder application. Does that even make sense to name it application? I just name it presentation. Or basically most of you guys know that as screens. I think that makes more sense. Name this as screens, and inside the screens, outside the screen, not inside, I create another folder, and I name this widgets. So this is where our small widgets will live inside. So we have all the small widgets staying in there. We have the core screen staying in here. Once we have that, head inside the screen, create a new file, call this main screen. Just click on this main underscore screen. .dat. Once we have that, I'm going to create this to be a stateful widget. So this is how you create a stateful widget. STF stands for stateful widgets, and go ahead and rename this to main screen. There we go. I think that's all. And next, just return a dummy container for now. And yeah, just return a dummy container. That's what we need. And once we got the dummy container returned, we just need to replace whatever we have so far, which will definitely be this right here. So just copy the name main screen, copy that out, go over here and replace this, paste that in here, and then import this. And I also always I prefer importing using package, so this kind of like starts with package, then our folder. Okay, what did I do? Then our folder, then slash the folder we're inside, and then the app file, the file that we're trying to access. There are other ways to actually import, but this actually make more sense to import using the package prefix at the back. Yeah, I think that's called prefix and not suffix. Yeah, suffix is at the front while prefix at the back. Yeah, so yeah, we gotta clear that. So this is basically what our app looks like now. You can actually see it doesn't look good anymore. It's not actually looking fine. So let's go ahead and start working on this. First off, we need to implement a sidebar. But before we do that, let's just create a layout, a dummy layout that looks like this, where we have a sidebar and then an extra column leg. So basically a 2 column layouts. That's what we're trying to create right now. So to create that, remember what I said, there's better ways to actually easily create a responsive layout in Flutter. So that's what we basically go ahead and do right now. I'm sorry guys, I don't know why I'm brabbing a lot today. Okay, oh, just forget that I didn't have my camera on. Oh, I just need to put that back here. Yeah, so I got my camera on. I just need to put my bandana back on. Yeah, kind of forgot that also. Okay, let's see how we do this. Okay, I'm just trying to put this because my hair is kind of like blocking my view, so I just need to use this to hold it up. So once we got this stuff right here, so like I said, we just move into creating a responsive UI. To create a responsive UI, if you are with me from the last stream we did where we created a dummy layout for our job platform, most of you could actually remember we did that not too long, I think almost, I would say 6 days ago, and we did that by using Flex. So Flex is basically one of the widgets you can actually use to create a responsive layout. So I just have a scaffold first right there. So these are scaffold right now, and inside the scaffold we don't need the app bar, so basically remove that, that's not needed. We just need the body of the scaffold, probably the background color, but do we actually need to add it right now? But just kind of like use a dummy color for now. So I'm going to say colors.white, so we're going to use white color, and I'm going to make my scaffold to be constant so that I can have all this error go away. And next I need to remove these center widgets. We don't need the center widgets, guys, we don't need it, so basically remove that. Once that is gone, let's see what else we actually need to do. Yeah, so once the center widget is gone, since we don't need it, so next stuff actually do is to add a flex widget, like I said. So here we have a flex widget, and inside the flex widget it needs a direction. So this is actually one of the important areas we have to actually need to talk about. So if you want this layout to be in a horizontal form, you see how the layout is actually in a horizontal form. I will call this in a column, yeah, column 1 and column 2. So we have 2 columns here, 1 and 2. So if you want it to be in this way, or you want it to be in a row form, so you just have to use a different direction. But since we want it to be in a column, like what we have here, column 1 and column 2, what we can actually use is what we call axis dot horizontal. So horizontal means our layout will be in a horizontal form, like in this column form here. And next we have the showdown property. So the showdown property, we just have this yeah, student is an a widget array. Yeah, so just pass that in. And now this is actually giving us an error, and constant has been causing the constant constructor. So it's saying that the widget that we are calling, or the basically an object or widget that we are calling, is not a constant constructor, but the parent is saying and everything will be constant. So just remove the constant from the parent, and that will fix the issues that we are having. And let's see if there's any other stuff we need to work on. And once we got that, next, inside the flex widgets, we can just go ahead and start adding all the stuff we need. First, what I will need to add, just kind of I need to copy it over, because so if you're with me, from the last stream that we did, you can actually go ahead to my GitHub. So most of the stuff I'll be copying over will be from the last stream that we did, because it's nearly helpful. No need of creating everything from scratch anymore. So let me get my GitHub here, so most of you can follow along. So go over to my GitHub. Where is it? So yeah, we got that. Right here's my GitHub. Yeah. So you guys can actually see that. We're going to go ahead to the repository. And inside the repository, remember, like I said, the last stream that we did is called flutter or layouts. So click on that. So we have the flutter or layouts. It's actually free, it's open, so you guys can actually go ahead and use it. And inside the footer, all you have to go to the lib folder. Inside the lib folder, we have the presentation folder, and inside the presentation folder, we have the main job platform, which is the file. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and copy this path for our left column, or the first child in our layout. So since we need that to be animated, so we just copy this. And yeah, just copy that and place that in here. But it's going to throw some errors to us. The errors being that we don't have this animation controller that we are requesting for, and again, we don't have this animation value right here. How do we fix that? It's simple. So next up, we go ahead and copy the animations. So here is our animations. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. First of all, I just copy this first animation called animation controller 1. And then, okay, I think we need the whole stuff. Just copy every single one of them, and then go straight to your project, paste them in here. And once we have this pasted in here, we need to add with animation mixins. So this is called with single ticker provider mixin. But if we use a single ticker provider mixin, it's going to throw an error. So the error being that we are using two animation controller, and with a single ticker provider mixin, you don't use two animation controller. It only monitors one particular animation controller, because it's single ticker, so it kind of monitors one ticker. So the animation is kind of a ticking clock. So that's where the idea came from, a ticking clock. Yeah. So we are going to use a ticker provider mixin, which can monitor multiple animation controller or multiple ticking clocks. Yeah, that's an example for that. So once we have all this stuff added right now, so next stuff is just basically create an init state where we are going to have our animation. I'm going to also copy the dispose method. Yeah, copy the dispose method also. We need that. And once we have that, just go ahead and bureau and paste this. Yep. I think so. I think we have this. So we dispose the animation, the two animation we created. We also made sure we actually disposed both of them. Once that is done, so I'll just go ahead and start this. Save. We are still having an error, so let's see what that is all about. So late initialization error. So go ahead and restart our app. And I'm gonna go ahead and minimize this one, and you can actually see the whole stuff showing up. So these are apps so far. You can see this section. So go ahead and restart it again. You see how this comes in. But if you take a look at what we have, the design we have, our design is different, whereby you can actually see the size, the width of the first column. So the first column is actually bigger than what we have so far. Ours is actually small, but the first column we have here is actually big. So I can estimate that the width is around 100 pixels or 120 pixels, but let's see how that works. So let's go ahead and increase the width right here. So I'm gonna say the way we do that, I'm going to use this to be responsive. I could just say 0.6. If you go ahead and restart this, okay, this is actually pretty small. Let me see, because we are trying to increase the width, so let's say 1.6, and the animation value that we have. Okay, so let's do this. So go ahead and save this. Okay, this is actually not working the way we expect it to. So next, I think I'll just go ahead and remove this. Let's see, animation value 2, controller, animation controller. Okay, animation forward, we have this to called forward, and then we have the animation controller 2 right here. So but the issue right now, we are trying to get the width to actually size up. Okay, I see the issue. So the issue is because we are using a max width of 80 pixels here. So you have to actually be careful where you are using constraints, because we are using a constraint. So the constraint is basically saying that you don't want the width to be bigger than 80 pixels. So even if you're trying to make this width, like let's remove this animation and add like 400 pixels here. If you go ahead and save this can never be 400 pixels. It can never get to 400 pixels because we are saying that constraint should always be 80 pixels. So we just need to remove that and get this to actually work. So once we have all those stuff working, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this and say the max width should be 150 pixels. I can actually see this grow, the width just grow, and keep on increasing this. Let's say 190. See this grow, and let's say we should have this to say 290. Okay, I think that's too much. Is it not? Let's see. Let's put this side by side and kind of like take a look. I think it's actually okay at this moment. Yeah, the width is actually the same. Kind of need to reduce this a bit. So let's say 280. 280 should be fine. So yeah, I think this width is okay. So right now we have 2 column, but nothing is in here, so we have to add something in here. Yeah, we need to add something in here. To do that, we are going to use another widget called flexible. So flexible is basically this one from our previous stream. It's called flexible. So this is the widget called flexible, and we're going to give it a flex that we want. And remember, for flexibles, the more you increase the flex property, the more the width kind of like tends to grow. If you reduce it, the more you reduce it, kind of like tends to shrink it also. I think I missed something here. Let's see. Come on, okay. Flexible. Yeah, so just copy the flexible widget, but I'm not going to copy the whole stuff. Just copy. Is there any reason to copy that? I don't think so. Just basically go ahead and create it here. So we don't need to copy that. Since copying that, we copy other code that we don't need. So I think it's kind of like much better to create that by ourselves here. And I'm going to say flexible. Flexible should have a child property. For now, should be a container. And like inside the container, let's add some stuff. Container will have a color, and the colors should be amber, and then the flexible should be flex. If you go ahead and save this, let's give this a height property. So the height should be the media, but height and width should be the same. If you go ahead and save this right now, and let's take a look at what we have. I can actually see this is occupying the whole screen. So even if you go ahead and stretch this, the yellow one kind of like tends to get bigger no matter how you stretch it. This one kind of remains at the same position. Even if you go ahead and keep on reducing the height or the width, like we are doing. See, we got to this point that we have an issue right now. So we need to be able to fix this issue. And to fix that, we should have able to add a what I called responsive animation, whereby if it gets to a smaller device, this should actually hide, and we don't need to come up with that, since we already did that in our previous project. What I need to do, I think this is the reason why you actually kind of like, it's good to have multiple projects you have worked on. You can just copy code from different projects, add it to a new project. Like, you don't need to kind of like brainstorm how to do stuff, new stuff. You don't need to think about them. You just kind of like, yeah, I did something like this on my old project. Just go there, pick it up, put it in your new project, and it still works. Yeah, so we just go ahead and copy this part, which is for getting our UI for actually making this to be responsive and hide on smaller device. And I'm going to add the code at the top here, since it's this will be called whenever this build method is being called. And once we add that, so I'm going to add another one, which is this if statement. I'm going to add the if statement right here. So once we have the if statement, I'm going to go ahead and save this, restart the app, and let's test this out again. So let's start the app with the whole animations. You see that was actually pretty fast. That's because we have so let me fix this. So that's because I have this stuff in the animation path. When I'm increasing this to 1.6, I should leave this to 0.5. Yeah, 0.5. And if you go ahead and restart this again, yeah, I think that's much better. Yeah, so now let's try to resize this. So let's see. You see how that goes out when it comes to a smaller device. Let's keep on going this way, and if you kind of like increase it width, so that's the animation we are looking for. That's cool, we got that working. Next stuff we need to do right now. So right now we got our whole layouts working, and the responsive layout and all those stuff, they are actually clicking right now. So the next stuff we just need to do is to start adding this path of our app. I think I need to add the wait a second. Show controls. I need to pause this at this point. Remove the loop. Pause this. Why is it not pausing? Okay, now okay, we need to get this to some point to be able to pause it. Yeah, I think at this point is actually okay. Yeah, so I can actually see this in a much better way before we add the dark theme. So right now we have this. I need to add a sidebar. So how do we create a sidebar? So let's start adding these properties. So we have a navigation bars right here, that whenever you tap on each of them, you have this animation kind of like clicking, and you have the animation working. And also for that one, and we won't stress ourselves to do it because I already have that somewhere. If you take a look at my Instagram account, you can actually see that particular animation, that kind of sidebar. Okay, my Instagram is not showing up here. Let's see how I can actually get the Instagram to show up. Okay guys, give me a moment. Let me actually take a look here, see. I'm trying to get the my Instagram to actually show up, because I just needed to show you guys what we're trying to add as the next step. Come on. Yeah, so this one I'm trying to get. Like I said, we already have this in our previous projects. I don't know if you guys have seen it. So yeah, you can actually see the sidebar, and the sidebar is actually working. Yeah, the sidebar is actually working. You can tap on them and see the animations kind of like happening. Like I said, I won't be creating that. I'll just copy the code over, and then I can just go ahead and explain to you guys what we're doing, and then we can just tweak one or two stuff to actually look like what we want, what we have here. So that's what we are going to do right now. So I'm going to go ahead and open a new VS Code, And inside the VS Code, I'm gonna go inside here and open job board dashboard. And what we are looking for is called bar icons. Is that let's see, come on. Okay, bar icons, I think that's what we're looking for. Yeah. For the bar icons, you have these animations, custom buttons, let's take a look. It's message. Okay, looks like so this is actually one of my old code base, so I'm trying to look in there and see what we can actually grab to speed up our development. So I kind of like see toolbar. I think we added a toolbar somewhere. Let's see, custom search bar. Okay, I think I found it. So it's called custom search bar. Okay, no, not the custom search bar. Not this one. Bar model. Okay, I think it's called bar model. I think that's what I called it. So let's use that to search for. No. So let's see where this is actually used. In here we're using it somewhere. Okay, we're saying bar icons, list bar icons, and we're passing this bar in there. So if I go over here and go to, let's see, go to bar icons, and here's our bar icons. For the bar icons, we are looping through okay, the icons has been passed, and we are okay using this. Okay, I see. So this is what we are looking for. It's called custom bits here. So go over here and copy that. Yeah, we could have actually done this from start, but I just want to kind of speed up the whole stream, so we don't need to do that. Just copy the code, then explain that to you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and minimize this. Then over here, create a new file inside the widgets, inside the widget parts. I'm gonna call this custom bar, custom underscore bar dot dat. I think it would actually make sense if we kind of convert this to be a package, yeah, flutter that package, yeah, pop package. I think that would be actually better. Then you can just use the package directions of the app without any other stuff. Just basically go ahead and import material UI. Let's go through and see if there's something to fix. Okay, I can actually see some issues. Colors, we need to fix the colors properties. I think we already have to fix the colors. I think that's what we have to do. And to do that, what I can actually do, we create a new folder. This folder, I'm going to call this core folder. Just name it core folder. Any other stuff can be in here, like themes, colors, tests, custom tests, all those stuff can be in there. And inside the folder, I'm going to create another one called this custom colors. Custom colors dot dat. For the inside the custom colors of that, is going to be create a class. For the class, name that to be brand colors. For this, I could actually say, let's see the colors I've actually used here. So the colors we use for this project was basically team brand colors. Okay, I think I'll actually go ahead and copy the whole color and then use that in our app right here. Paste it and then import material UI to fix the issues that we're having, and just import this material, single line of code, the whole error goes away. So go ahead and save this. Now we have a single place for all the colors we are going to be using in our app, and we gave it a name that's kind of that we can actually remember for each of the colors. And now in here we can just import that file to fix the errors that is being highlighted right here. I can actually see the errors have been fixed because we imported the color file, and that's it. So let's go ahead and try to use this custom button right here for our navbar. Go ahead and save this. Main.dat, not inside main.dat, that should be inside main screen. And inside our sidebar, which is this, so this is our sidebar to be precise. So this is our sidebar. So inside our sidebar, I'm going to add a widget called column. I think that would actually make sense. Let's see, container. Inside the container we add a child property. Inside the child property we have a column widget, and inside the column has a children property. Yeah, inside the children we are going to basically add the widget we copied so far. Yeah, and go ahead and import this. And the funny thing, I didn't even add a comment on how we are going to use this, but so the required properties are icon data or image URL. Okay, no, the required properties are index, current index, pressed, and other stuff. I think I figured out a better way to actually get this better. Okay, go ahead and copy this whole code here and add that in here. So once we got all those stuff added, so let's replace this. So the icon is requested from icon data. So for the icon data, I'm basically go ahead and add an icon. So I will say icon.home for that. So for the total, I will say the total should be 2, and then its image, its message, that should be set to false. Index, set index to 1. Current button index, set that to 0. And then we have total items, set that to 2. And then we have title on press, so whenever there's a press, so do something. For now we're going to comment this out and then save this and see what this looks like. So this is basically how this looks, the icon. But because right now we haven't be able to work with something, because if you press this, it's not going to work. So we need to be able to fix some other part of this. First of all, we need to add this color. So the background color is actually white, I think so. Yeah, it should be. I think the background color is white. I think, or we can actually use white for the background color. I don't know what you guys think, your thought on that, but let's try using white for the background color. I think that's much better. So I'm gonna go ahead over here and change the background color from blue to white. So here we go. So our scaffold, no, not scaffold, we don't need to touch the scaffold, we just need to touch this one and set the colors to be white. We already have a color here, so we can actually use the white color that we have here. I think we have white color somewhere here. Yeah, pure white. So I'm gonna say in here we're going to use our brand color class. I'm gonna say brand colors dot pure white. So that's basically our pure white. So once we add that, I'm going to go ahead and save this. Now you can actually see this is taking shape. So now it's pure white, and need to actually be able to make this to work. First way to do that is I'm going to create a dummy icons. So we need to create a list of icons that we need, and we already have something like that over here. What I need to do is just copy the code that's right here, copy the whole code. Then we have to use that in our new app, which is somewhere here at the top. Yeah, at the top somewhere right here. Paste the code that we copied, and it is requesting that it's looking for something called bar model, which we don't have now. So what I could actually do is go ahead and add a bar model, because I know that we created the model somewhere. Yeah, there's the model. class called bar model. I think it actually makes sense. We go ahead and create a new file in our app and call that models, and in there I'm going to create something called bar underscore model dot that, and then paste this code right in here. Import material UI to fix the issue that we're having. Come on, what's going on? So go ahead and save this. So we just need to save it. We don't need to do much. Once we save that, then we can actually import this. You can actually see the issue has been fixed. Another one is that it's telling us, okay, let's see, invalid constant value, undefined name icons. Okay, ionic icons. Okay, we are using an ionic icons right here. We don't have ionic icons right now in our app, so we need to add that as a package. So there's a package called you can called ionic that you can actually get your ionic icons from. So this is the package. You just need to install that package inside a terminal. From the terminal, here's our terminal, and I'm going to go ahead and say flutter pub, use pub add to add a package. It's called ionic icons, and this will just basically go ahead and download the package that we need. In this case, we called it's been called ionic icons. That's the name of the package. So that's basically what this is going to do for us. Download the whole package. I think it's downloaded, so let's go ahead and test this out. So we have the package added, so let's import a package. So once that is imported, I'm going to go ahead and restart this, and that's cool. So next stuff I'm going to do is to be able to loop through some stuff and then list this icon button that we have right there. Actually see how we did that somewhere here. Use the for loop. So I'm trying to copy the code that we use for that. Should be somewhere here. Shouldn't be hard to find, but come on. So right in here, I'm saying, okay, we are looping through this bar model icon index. So this should be the one we should be looking for this. And if you go up a bit, should be able to find it. Yeah, so there we go. I'll go ahead and copy the for loop that we have right there. And once we have the for loop, what we're going to do is basically paste the code at the top right here, and then remove this path that we don't need anymore. And since we are looping through this called bar model, and the bar model is a list, what we could actually do is say this list that is called bar model, get the icon at this index, and then the total okay, yeah, icon.total, and then we have its image is false, and the index is basically the current loop index that we have. Is called I, and the total items is from the bar models of length. I think that should be it at the moment. So if you go ahead and save this, yeah, now we have multiples of them, and once you tap on this, you can actually see the animations that we're talking about. But for some reasons this tab, okay, I see, we messed up. So this basically it, and I need to create this at the top somewhere and set this index to be I at the moment. Then at the top of our file, I need to create that particular index right here. So I'm going to say int, not current index. It should be called this bottom index. Then go ahead and save this, and once this is saved, then if you tap on this, it should work. I think I need to restart this. Okay, we have an issue. we have a serious issue right now. The set state should actually work. So when you call on set state, you should say button index is equals to I, the current index that we want to actually animate to. But for some reason that tab is not working, so I'm trying to figure out what the issue is all about at the moment. Because right here we created a variable we call that index, and we're setting the index to be 0, and since we have the index to be at 0, right, so the index is at 0, it should be able to work. But for now, let's console log something using the print statement and say index, then wrap this print statement to indicate debug mode to be able to avoid this being printed out in production code. Once we have that, go ahead and save this. Now let's try this. Let's give it this a try. In here, I'm gonna say debug console. So within our debug console, I'm gonna try to tap on any of those buttons again, and we can actually try to see if something is being called. So tap on this. It's actually working. Looks like we kind of like had an issue right now. So let's see what this is all about. But icons, okay. Okay, this index, pass it. Index is I, okay. Okay, index at icon, which is this that we have right here. Tutu icons is icon tutu, okay, which is have here. Index is basically the I, which is this one, which is the index that's been passed in here somewhere here. Okay, that's cool. And then we have the current index. Okay, we're the one having the issue. So the current index, the button index. I didn't see that on time. We should have actually be able to see that, but yeah. Let's kind of move forward. So if I tap on this, now you see the animation working. So that's kind of some similar animation we are going to have, but we want this to actually look like what we have here. You can actually see this has an icon and a home text, and then have a rounded overlay around it. So that's what we actually need to add. So let's go ahead and add that. So put this side by side so you can actually be seeing both of them. And I'm going to go straight to the custom bar. Inside the custom bar, so we need to make our changes right in here. So the custom bar should have a test also. Yeah, I think we added a test. Okay, over here you can actually save home. If you save that, you should have a test, but for some reason the test is not showing up. Okay. So in here, let's fix the issue. So we have the whole widget that we are kind of like controlling to get those animation of the text going up or something like that. So that's whole stuff you just have to kind of like work on right now. Let's see. So the first one being that we need to add the text, which I'm trying to figure out where we actually do that. Okay, widget of total stuff. Okay, we don't need that. We need somewhere to add the test, so I'm looking for where we should add the test. So I have a stack widget that has a center widget which is an icon, and again a positioned stuff inside it. I think this actually makes sense if we have because we're animating the stack widget, whereby it's going up. Yeah, making the whole stuff go up. What if we start calling this a stack widget? We should actually call this to be let's see, yeah, so calling it a stack widget, can actually add this inside a column or inside a row widget. I think that should actually make more sense. I don't know if what you guys think. So let's go ahead and make it inside a column, and then we can be able to add a text that we are looking for. So I'm going to wrap this with a column. If you save this, the whole self is still animating like as usual. It should, yeah, that's fine. But we could just use this opportunity to add a text inside our code. Okay, you shouldn't use column, it should be row. Yeah, inside our row widgets. Now I will say that the text should be after the animated icon below here. We should use our text widget, and inside our text widget we added a title. If you go ahead and save this, now you can actually see the text is showing up as it should. That's cool. Nice. Okay, so we have this working. So next stuff, we actually need to style this to actually look like what we have right here. Let's start with making this whole stuff being in the same horizontal axis, yeah, in the same line. Or you can actually make the text bigger than the icon. I think that was actually much better. So let's reduce the icon size. The icon should be 12.0. Go ahead and save that. Okay, that's too small. Icon should be 16. I think that's much better. And once we have the icon being 16, now we could actually go ahead and push the icon down a bit. So we're using this transform translate to go up. So I could reduce this to 10. Let's see, do we actually need this animation anymore to animate the icons or something like that? Do we? I don't think we actually need to animate the icon anymore. I don't think so. Or we can actually leave it, keep animating it. -5. Okay, let's see. Okay, but this whole stuff is still going up. Okay, from the top, from the bottom, let's leave this to padding bottom. Okay, yeah, the whole stuff is now in the same alignment, so that's what we are looking for. So we got it look having the same in the same alignment space. And next I could just say, okay, now we have that, and let's improve the text. Have the text given a bit of a space between both of them. Just use a size box. Or instead of using a size box, I actually use, I think I actually use a size. Let's keep it with a size box. Inside a size box, I just say width to be around 10 pixels. Go ahead and save that. You can actually have these two spacing. I can actually say width should be around 13 pixels. And now we can actually have a bit of a space with what we have here. And once we got that working, let's see. I think actually move this to be bottom to be 0. Okay, I think that's too much. Let's keep it as 8. What about 9? Okay, I think that's much better. Yeah, that's much better. We just added a test, and the whole stuff is now kind of like almost in the same alignment. See the button just having a smaller animations within them. So I think that's much better. Now we just need to start the test. That's all we need to do right now. So the test is, I think we already got the test right. I think it's okay right now. And if you take a look at other designs that I kind of found out online for the Dona app, kind of like looks much better. I will show you guys. Let's get this. I'll show you guys. I will just get this URL, the link. I'll show you what we're trying to get also. So this is what I'm talking about. You can actually see the home icons. Yeah, you see the home icon showing up there. The home icon and the home test showing side by side within it, and then you have the this icon right here that's actually telling us, okay, this the total task is 12 or 15 or whatsoever. So we just need to add that icon also. So to add that path, we need to push this to this end, bring this up and push this to this end a bit. I think that's much better. And now we can just go ahead and start the other path. To add that icon, I'm going to use a container widget. Container, yeah. Or instead of using a container, we can use, is this rounded? I don't think it's actually fully rounded. Since it's not fully rounded, I can just use a container. And inside a container, we are going to have a child property, and the child property is going to be a test. Come on. For now, we're just going to add code sub test. I call that to be 12. This we're going to change the color and say colors dot amber. For this test, we're going to add a comma. Okay, we already have the styles also suggested to us. Since we won't be changing the color, so you actually leave the color, the test color, to be one stuff. Just say brand colors. Brand colors. What color we can actually use? Can use black for this. Brand colors black. Just say secondary. I think, yeah, that should be the black color for us. Go ahead and save that. You can actually see that being added somewhere here. Since we want this, you can actually say this should be centered. Or instead of saying centered, I can just use padding, edge insect dot only, and then we can just instead of using only, you can just use symmetric. I think that's much better. Horizontal, and then make this to be a const. Go ahead and save this. Okay, that's too big, that's too much. Horizontal, let's say that should be 5. Okay, and also the same, let's reduce it a bit, so let's 4 and 4. Then we can actually use a rounded radius on it, so we can actually say border. Just add decoration, use box decoration right here, and inside the box decoration we can just add our border radius, and then remove one of these colors that we have. And the color that we have here is actually gray, so no need of adding an amber color. I could just say brand colors, not over, but it should be gray color. Looks like we don't have a color, a gray color right here, but I think we can actually find something useful. Test dark, so I just use test dark for a gray color. That's close enough. Go ahead and save this. You can actually see the background color changed immediately to similar stuff you have here. and then we could just go ahead and reduce this a bit more, or maybe increase this border radius. Okay, I think that's it. We already got that, so I'm gonna use spacer to space all this stuff out and make our spacer to be constant. Yeah, there you go. And now we need a bit of a padding around the whole toolbar. So the main parent should, that's what we need to add that. So the main parent should have a padding. We don't have a padding in it yet, so let's go ahead and add a padding. Just use edge insect dot only. Instead of saying only, I could just use symmetric. Make this constant. Symmetric dot horizontal, vertical. And let's say 20 by the two side. You can actually see how that is looking. So we need this kind of padding. Let's say around this should be 20 pixels, I guess. Yeah, I think so. So I could actually say around it should be 30 pixels horizontal, 30 pixels vertical. So you see the padding being added at the top here, the padding being added at the left hand side here. I'll actually go ahead and keep adding that. So I could actually go ahead and say so since we have this, increase the padding more. Okay, let's say the padding should be 40 by 40. I think that's much better. You can actually leave the padding this way. I think that's much better. And now if you take a look, you can actually see this highlight that whenever you tap or select a button or a navigation menu, you see this highlight by the left. That's basically the same highlight that we have here. There's a highlight here that, but it's not kind of like too visible, so we are going to use that one. That particular highlight is actually gray in color, so we are going to use gray color for that. And to get that particular highlight, what we need to do is to go over to our custom button. Inside our custom button, either we add an overlay on the top, or we could just say this should have an extra container wrapping it. You can actually do that way. So since this is in a row widget, I can wrap the row widget inside a container widget, another container widget. And for that container widget, we can actually say the color. Instead of using color directly, you can just use decoration. Just use box decoration. And instead of box decoration, we can just go ahead and do this. The colors cannot determine on the current index the user is currently on. Or instead of doing that, you can just animate the color. I think that's much better. It's much better to animate the color than any of this stuff that we have right now. So let's go ahead and animate the color. But for now, let's just keep a color there, a constant color. But we already know that we need to animate this later on. So I'm gonna say brand colors dot test. So we have a test color. If you go ahead and save that, you can actually see that that's working. See that being added immediately on here. But we want this container to actually have a padding also, padding within it. And we're going to use edge insect dot only. Not only, I prefer using symmetric. I think that's, for me, that's much better. There's many ways to add padding in your code, so you can use the edge insect or any other stuff. I'm gonna use like I say, you can use edge insert symmetric only, or to add your padding, but over here I'm going to use just edge insert symmetric. So the vertical set that to 10, horizontal set that to that, and make this to be constant. And that actually gives something much better. You can actually see the look. So you have this padding from the left and right, from the top and bottom. Next stuff we actually need to do in there is, so if you take a look, you see that we need this to be rounded, more rounded. So let's increase the border radius. Let's say border radius should be 15. I think that's much better. And this will also have a margin, so add a margin, so there should be a space between each of them. Say margin edge insect dot only. So only, I can always forget this, it should be symmetric. This use const in here, gonna format this. So we just say margin top, margin bottom. I don't know if that makes sense. Instead of using, I could just say only, so symmetric. I will just want to add a top part, then I can just say margin bottom. No, just the bottom part we just need to add. And if you go ahead and save this, nice one, you can actually see this taking shape pretty close to what we have here and what we should have here. So let's continue with this. Yeah, we can actually leave the margin this way. I think that's better this way. If you keep on tapping on this, still have the same animation flow, but right now I need to move the gesture out of here. So I'm going to move the gesture out from here, remove the gesture dictator, and then add the gesture dictator at a parent. So the main parent will have the gesture dictator. So if you wrap this with gesture dictator, and then on top we add this code right in there. If you go ahead and save this right now, it's still going to work. So right now if you tap on this, you just animate whatever you add. Whenever you tap, you just see the animation working. Now the container should reduce the color, so we need to add opacity. So set the opacity to something like 0.1 thereabouts. Save this. Okay, that's too much. Let's set that to 0.2. I think this is much better, because this actually kind of like is more closer to the one we are going with, which is this particular design right here. Let's take a look with that design and what we got so far. Yeah. I think we are right there. Just need to do one or two changes. The changes that we actually need to do right now is to add this exact icon that we have here. This same exact icon they have right here. That's the icons we need to add. You see the icons they have, the home icons, the today icons, this. So we need to add all those icons inside our app. So this is basically complete, add a task, personal, okay, create a list. Okay, this is for list that we created, and this is for home today. Okay, I see. So let's go ahead and do that for home. So for home we need to add a home icon. Should be able to do that right in here. This should have a home icon. If you go ahead and save that and bring this up, okay, yeah, we have the home icon showing up, but it looks like we added it to the wrong place. Okay, that should be at the top one. So there we go. Now I have the top one having the home icons, and we already need two of these at the top. So we need the home icons, the bottom, this and this also, this also, the rest. So we already have home today. So let's look for an icon for today. So ionic icons. So let's go for icon hunting in our Ionic icon. So right in our Ionic icon, so I'm going to look for maybe a similar icon for the home, not for the home, for the today. Because if you take a look at the today, see the icons right there. See the icon they are using for that. I don't know if you can actually get that icon. So let's say today. Okay, the icon is actually a calendar icon. Okay, I see. Should be calendar icon that we should use in there. Okay, this is scale icon. I think we actually use a calendar clear outline, this one, and use that for in place of the home icon that we have. Paste that, and this should have an underscore. Yeah, that's much better. If you go ahead and save that and bring this up, where did something went wrong? Okay, that's working. So I can actually see both of them, this, and the rest kind of like depends on what we want. So the rest should be have a circular icons within them. So for that reason, so what we could actually do is to head over here right now, and yeah, so head over here. We could actually go ahead and say, sorry guys, that we want, whenever, if it's not any of this, we want these icons to actually look like this. You see the square, and then the home icons or image, this should be emoji, right? Yeah, this should be emoji. These ones are not emoji. The user, okay, the user can be able to select emojis and colors. Okay, see, if they, okay, see if we can actually have emoji in our flutter app. Pub.dev. No, we can have emoji, but I'm trying to see if there's a package that we can actually utilize to add the emojis dynamically. Say emoji. Let's go. Emojis. Looks like we have one. Okay, so we have an, okay, I see we have one. We can actually make use of this one to list emojis, and then for the user to choose from emojis they want. Okay, we can make use of that, but not now. But for now, we can just go ahead and look for emoji to add for our dummy UI. Emoji. I basically mostly use the Emojipedia. In here, so the emoji we are looking for, the first one, we are looking for house emoji. Let's say house. Okay, looks like we found one. So this is the one we are looking for. House with a garden. Copy the emoji and head in here. Let's actually test this out first before we move before we move further to any other stuff. So let's say now we got an emoji. Can I add an emoji inside a text? So that's what we're trying to test out right now. So let's see if that works. So inside a test widget, so I'm going to create a test widget right here, and then try to add an emoji in it and see if it's going to display that. And that was actually being displayed. Okay, that's cool. And we can actually use font size to increase the emoji sizes. So let's say font size is 40, and then you can actually have the emoji size increase. Okay, that's cool. So the more you use the font size on it, okay, it kind of like treats it like a test Unicode. Okay, so let's say 28. And yeah, I think that's cool. That's good. In that case, we need to modify some stuff. So we need to have a way that we can actually say this stuff right here can actually have a color. It can have an emoji, right? So what we need to do is to head over to our model that we created here. So you can say that our model should have its image. We don't need that. Delete that part. So if you delete that part, we can actually go ahead and, so because we are going to have an issue right now since we removed the its is message. So totally remove it here also. If you save this, we are going to have an issue, so basically go ahead and delete all this stuff. That was from the previous project, that's needed then, but in this new project we don't need this is message parameter. I don't know why I always forget that. Objects params, you can actually say object signature. It's method signature, not object signature. Now we can actually say over here we need to remove that. Okay, we don't need to remove that right in here. And now I could go over here and say we need a way to add a color. So we can say final color, no colors, should be color. And next we could just say final emoji, which should basically be do we need to add a dummy one? Just say emoji should be equals to, not equals to, should be a string. And now okay, we messed up, so this should be the type, and the end over here should be the word. Okay, and in here you can just say required piece of color, required this dot emoji. And if you go ahead and save any of that, now we can decide to use all of every single one of them. So this will be required right now. It's going to throw some errors that we need to fix this. So we need the first two to have just an icon. We need the last ones. Is there any reason for making this required at the moment? Do we need to make this to be required? And also you can actually say is emoji okay, no need of making this required. Optional, you can just make this optional. If we make this optional, there's no need of adding the required keyword. And if we make this optional, no need of that. Make this optional, no need of that. You can actually make that optional. Now we have these issues fixed. Just remove this. Also remove this path. And then go ahead and save this. So if you save this right now and we head towards to the app where we are at the moment, you can actually see we're no longer having the issue. So the first two should have icons and all those stuff. So the next three, 1, 2, 3, so that should be starting from here, shouldn't have an icon. There's no need for an icon, but there should be a need for this. Should have a color property. So I should say the colors the red for this. Do the same for the next one. Actually colors the blue. Do the same for the next one. Colors the green. And do the same for which one is okay. How many have we done so far? So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we did 3. Okay, that's cool. Next two should be emoji. So that should be next two. This is basically the next two that we have online. So this should have an emoji. Just say emoji. And the emoji right here for the first one is house emoji, which we copied from here. I just need to copy it again. What happened? Okay, yeah, copy that again and paste that in here. The next one is having an emoji words again, emoji car. So you can search for emoji car. Let's look for a cool, nice car. I think we found one. This one right here. So that's what we are looking for. So just copy that emoji and use that for this one. Say emoji, not house, but basically a car. If you save this, we are going to have a whole lot of errors. You can see a lot of errors showing up. And if you take a look, our nope, we don't need this. Yeah, so if you take a look over here, nothing is actually, we have seen the whole stuff, but the changes we made so far is showing an error that we need to fix those particular errors that we have. So to start fixing that, since we already know that our models will be dynamic, our bar models will just be dynamic and nothing more, right? So what we need to do is to head over here. So this is where the whole error issues are coming from. So this is saying the argument type int can be assigned to parameter of type int. So you have to first unwrap this. Yeah, so first unwrap it. For the icon, not everything is going to have an icon, right? So we're going to say if this doesn't have an, okay, the icon data is actually optional for this one. Okay, that's a good one. So we're going to say if this doesn't have an icon, go ahead and set the icon property to false. So this is how we do it. So you say bar model. Oh no, what did I do? Just copy that path. What exactly am I even doing? So I say bar model at index.icon is not equals to null. Or basically no, we don't need to do that, because already the icon can accept a null property. So if it's null, so this one should accept a null property, so there's no need of doing that. If you go ahead and save this, let's see if you're having an issue. Okay, we are not having any errors being displayed. Next, we just remove this top bar. Yeah, I think that's what we need to remove. Once we got that removed, so let's take a look at what else we need to do. Now we have to be prefixing these ones that doesn't have an icon with something else. Actually, seen this one doesn't have any icon showing up. So to do that, I have to add a property inside an icon custom bar. It should have an icon, a property called final, not a boolean, final called color. And column always should be null, and you can actually use that over here. And a comma. If you go ahead and say color is null, say this dot color. Yeah. And next, we already have a color. We should have another one called emoji, and emoji should be null also. Just say emoji. I think that's cool. That's nice. Save that. And now what we could do is to say this place we are having an icon, we could just replace that with emoji. So this is our icon right here. So what I will do is to say if icon is null, say is no, okay, which the widget dot icon if icon is true, right? If icon is true, right? Go ahead and show this. If icon is not equals to null, not true. If icon is not equals to null, go ahead and show this. Else, let's use an emoji. Else, you can say else if widget, right, dot emoji is not equals to null. If emoji is not equals to null, if that's true, go ahead and replace it with a test. But else, if all this stuff are null, that means color shouldn't be null. So just add a color property here, but we can't just add a color property here. We have to add an empty container for now, just to occupy some space. Then we can just fix this later on. Yeah, guys. Also, if you have a question, just drop me a comment. Feel free just to talk about stuff. let it not be like I'm just coding ahead. I don't feel the vibe, so just throw me some questions. I just go ahead and answer you guys, and we can just talk. Also, if you just want to talk about anything, just go ahead and send me some questions or any other stuff you feel like talking about. So right now, if all this fails, just throw an empty container, right? So let's go ahead and do this. So emoji 16 pixels, save this, and so in that case, this is what we need to do. So we head over to our main screen, add the emoji property and colors. So I'm going to say color, no way, this should be bar, dot color. That should be for the color property. Then we have the emoji, bar dot emoji. If you save this, cool, that's nice. You can actually see that we have our emoji working, so that's actually great. Let's see the size of this emoji. Let's take a look. I think it's actually the same size, or ours is actually bigger than what they have. You can actually see the size. Okay, yeah, and see the emoji, but what is missing is the color. So these ones need a color property. So in that case, what we need to do is to add a color property. So this is how we add a color property. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. So inside the custom bar, this container right here should have a color, and the container, I will say, should have a decoration. Decoration should have shape is circle, but that's actually not actually circle. It's not circle. So we don't need the shape stuff. So just remove the image. We don't need shape to set the shape to the circle. Just say border. Prefix constant. So let's add a constant. So our border.or, no, so border.or. So we have border.or, we add a chorus and other stuff to it. So instead of border.or, I'm going to say the chorus shouldn't be animated, but basically the chorus should be from widget.color. First on wrap, then width is 2 pixels. If you go ahead and save this right now, there you go. So we're actually getting somewhere. That's great. So actually see the color once boss added, but this should be rounded, so we just need to round it. So go ahead and run this stuff. So to run this stuff, I'm gonna say in here border radius, no way, okay, not wait a second. Okay, I think we are doing it the wrong way, so that should be border radius, border radius dot circular, and set that to, okay, that's too much, so let's set that to 2 pixels. And what about 3? What about 3.5, 3.8, 3.9? Just kind of like want it to be a bit rounded, like what this stuff look like, and then increase the width. Okay, I think that's much better. Is that too much? If it's too much, you can actually go ahead and say this should be 2.5. Okay, much better. And then you can run this more. Could just say 3.0 and just say 4.0, and then 4.5. What about 4.8? 4.9. You kind of keep going all the way up here. I think 4.9 should be enough, or 5.9. Let's see 5.9. Yeah, I think 5.9 is the perfect one to have. So I can actually see this working. So we have a way to add this top path one should be home, to select our home. This next one is to select our any other stuff. But right now the issue is that we need to add a test to it. Every single one of them need to have a test. and not what we have here. So let's go ahead and add a text. And if you go up to the top right in here, it should have a title property. Okay, I think we made a mistake. We want to remove the title property from this. Yeah, from this. So we need to still add a title property. So I'm going to say final string. It's not going to be optional, it's going to be required, because every single one of them should have a title. So I'm going to say required, and since this is required, it's going to throw an error that's telling us that we need to add another property called title. And the first one, the title is home. The second one, the title is not calendar, but the title is called today. And the third one, so we already have this looking exactly like this. The third one, the title should say, what's the title again? Personal. So the third one should say personal. Say title. Okay, no, not me. Say should say personal. Yeah, should just say personal. Yeah. Next is work. Yeah, the next one should have title work. Okay, that's cool. No way. Next one should have title not important, but it should have title errands. Yeah, nice one. They should have title house. Looks like we missed something. Wait a second. Okay, work errands. Wait. Okay, house. Okay, road trip. Okay, this should be road trip. Road trip list. Yeah, so this should say road road trip list. There you go. So now we need to use these titles that we added, because we haven't used them. So this is the perfect place to use the titles that we added. Yeah, the title. Save this. Restart. Let's see that working. So you have home, today, personal, work, errands, house, road trip. But the another stuff there, we don't want this to be blue. I don't think that's a good color for when it's actually highlighted. It shouldn't be blue, right? We could just leave it that way to make ours look a bit different. But next stuff is that we don't want this to be added. We just want this to be added whenever this is being selected. I think that's much better. So what we could do is to say whenever that has been selected, add that particular container, and the container could make use of what we call opacity or visibility. Yeah, the container, where is it again? Okay, this is the container. We could make use of the visibility. So the visibility actually have true or false. Okay, we don't want that. Since we want to animate the opacity of that container at the background, so we just use opacity. Yeah, I think that's perfect stuff to actually use, nothing much. Then we could actually say icon color animation. Yeah, button up animation is right in here. In between these two, 0.3. Wait a second. Okay, looks like we are doing something else. Okay, yeah, button animation controller. Okay, let's see. So we already have one control, which is animating icon and button up. So the icon starts interval 0.0 to 1, and again from 0.30 to 1, so it means this start at the same time. Okay, no, this starts first, but both of them ends at the same time, so that's what these intervals are meaning. Then we need to add one more. So the next one we need to add is the background button. I'm gonna say rate animation. It should be opacity at double, so we could just say button show. Just name this button selection, button selected animation, and in here just add button selected animation, not button up. There's nothing like button up. Okay, we already used button up, no need of adding that extra again. Kind of looks like we already have two button up here, so remove one and use one. Button selected animation underscore, start from 0, end at 1, and reverse back, it reverses back. Curve start from 0.5, immediately starts and end at 0.5. I think that makes sense. And it should be ease in out, or we could actually use ease bounce a bit to have the animation bounce a bit. I think I could just leave it the way it is at the moment, so just use this one, and then we can just go ahead and animate the opacity that we want to animate. And this here, brethren, is how to animate opacity. So animate opacity, I don't know if container has an opacity property to it. Okay, it doesn't. Since it doesn't have an opacity property, we have to wrap it with opacity. We have to give it an opacity as a parent. Opacity not button up value, so we just use this one. If we go ahead and save that. There you go. Okay, now this is funny at the moment. So I don't know if you guys actually noticed what happened here. The reason being that our animation actually started from we added opacity. Since we added opacity, it's kind of like hide everything within the button. So if you tap anywhere around here, it just shows the button. But that's funny. That's not what we want to achieve. So I think it would make sense to just animate the color of the button. I think that will make perfect sense. So to animate the color of the button, I have to change this from double to color animation, and this is going to throw an error. So we are saying that our the twin animation that we have want to animate is color, and we want the color to start from something not visible to something visible. So that means this is basically something not visible right here. Begin from something not visible, so this should be 0.0 to something visible, which should be 0.2. And since we added that, so I need to take this away and then remove the opacity animation that we added, and then use the opacity animation right somewhere for the color. If you could remember, we just want to replace the color. Replace that. Then go ahead and save this. Now we need to restart this. What actually something went wrong right here. Render widget overflowed. Row overflowed. Custom cannot leave between color and color. The relevant error custom widget was okay. If you cannot read between these two color, the other color that we have, let's see if adding the opacity is the cause. So we can just go ahead and remove the opacity, save this, restart this thing for the whole again. Okay, because these are the same color, so let's change one of these colors. Case secondary. So we have an issue. So I'm trying to figure out where this error occurred, and then we can actually see how to solve this. Can say this. Okay, I think makes sense. It does make sense that we decide to wrap. So I'm gonna take away this animated builder and build the whole stuff with it. Yeah, remove that, and then remove the builder from here. I'm trying to remove the builder, but it looks like it's not trying to remove. It's not trying to go away. Come on. And this is going to mess some stuff up. We decide to remove it by ourselves, so just need to be careful right here on what we are doing. So basically remove these two end here, and once you get those two end removed, remove these two end right here, and remove this return statement. And once you have this return statement removed, remove this and add a comma. Once you have those added, so next stuff is going to wrap the whole container. So wrap the whole container with a builder, and the builder should be animated builder, which is going to have a context and a child property like that, and then have a property called animation. If we do it this way, I think that will be much better. Maybe we will not have that issue that we are having. Let's see. Okay, so we're still having the same issue. Now the issue is from animated builder. Still the same color issue stuff. So let's see. This should be color. This is returning. Okay. Button selected animation. Button selected animation is returning begin from this end to this. Curved from start from 0 all the way to 5 0 is in out. Button animation controller, that's what we're using, one single controller. And I think we can actually go ahead and remove this path. Let's try with color object, colors dot blue, or colors dot black to colors dot blue. Okay, let's debug this. Okay, the debug is actually kind of annoying at the moment right now. So it says cannot leave between color this and color. Actually creates Okay, on the first instruction. Okay, let's see. Come on. Yeah, why should this be an issue? Because I actually do a color twin animation. Yeah, we can actually is as allowed. You can do a color twin animation, but yeah. Controller drive, twin, offset, or twin. Wait a second. Yeah, because you can actually use color twin to animate. Well, in our own case, we're having errors. So let's see. Somewhere. Okay, let's try using color twin itself instead of twin with a type color. Let's just go ahead and comment this out, and I could just say animation selected button is equals to color twin. Remove the null property from there. Color begins from colors dot amber and color ends at colors dot amber accents. Okay, so let's say okay, the issue is fixed, but I can just say animate. Then we did animate, then we can just pass the same stuff that we used here. Let's copy the same stuff, pass it inside the animate function. Still works. Okay, so this is actually giving me send the type is actually animation of type color optional. Yeah, we got it type correct from the onset. So why did he turn out through an error when we try to assign it? Okay, now it's working. Come on, for fuck's sake. So let's try using this. So I could just go ahead and delete the color twin. Yeah, just delete that. Go ahead and save this, and let's try using it and see how this works. Okay, that's working. So we're not getting that red error again. So if we go ahead and try this, so we're not getting the red error. The only error we're having here is the row being overflowed or something like that. That's because all these are visible when the width is increasing and decreasing, so we need to fix that one later on. I will show you guys how to fix that. It's still with the same animation. So the easiest way to do that is when the width is kind of like shrinking down a bit, then this should either be changing to opacity, be fading away, or we should just be removing it directly from the screen or something like that. That's one way to be able to fix that. Or you can actually animate it that when this is shrinking, that this should start going off the screen, like maybe transform animation. Every single one of them should start going off. Then if it's coming up, every single one of them will start coming up. So that's one way to actually do that. Rather we fix our issues. But we are going to still get to that later on. But for now, let's try and fix this once. So the issue is fixed for the colors, but we need to actually be able to use the same color that we want to use, which is basically saying test color. So we're using the test color dark. So we're saying start from width opacity of 0.0 and end with opacity of 0.2. I think that was what we left it at before. And with opacity of 0.2, save that, restart. Okay, something is definitely wrong. Why is it still showing yellow color? While we already selected animation. Wait a second, selected animation. Where did we actually change? Oh no, so we changed the long one, not this. So just revert back to where you were before. Yeah, skip it here. This is basically what we should be changing. Yeah, I think we are good to go. Go ahead and format this stuff. Just prefer adding a comma at the end of each line. Then go ahead and restart this. Nice one. So actually looking good right now. If you go ahead and tap on this, that's when you see this showing up. You can actually see that. So that's cool. So that's a good effect that we're having. See how that's working nice. I just kind of like want to keep tapping on it forever. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. But there's one issue that we need to fix. That's actually very important. If you take a look at the design right here, you can actually see it's not. I don't think it's actually important. I said it is important, but I kind of feels it's not important anymore at the moment. But I just want to show you guys what I mean. So what I mean is that if you take a look, see that this sidebar is actually curved. That means inside the app, the sidebar should be curved. It shouldn't be fully full height or something like that. So let me show you. So meaning the sidebar should be curved at this point or something like that. But I will show you. But the best stuff we can actually do is to use an animation for that. So maybe the user taps on the animation, taps on something, the sidebar will get curved, or if they tap on something, the sidebar will just resize to this point. But it's actually cool. Let's try that. I'm going to go ahead and remove one of these. Okay, no, nothing to remove, just give it a try, which is the main screen. Inside the main screen, this is the path for that, which is container, and inside the container we need border reduce. We already have a border, but we need a border reduce. So you can actually see the border radius should be border radius dot circle should be 20. Okay, I feel like that's too much. What just happened? Okay, let's set that to 10. Okay, if we set that to, let's see, okay, I see. We're the one causing the issues. Border radius can only be given to a uniform border, so since we don't have a uniform border, the border radius cannot work. So we need to add a uniform border before we give a border radius. And if we are given a border, you can actually see that it's not showing up, so that's because we need to add a margin inside our container. So I could just add a margin and say edge insect dot symmetric horizontal, and again we have vertical. They all should be the same. Okay, and I think that was working, but the issue is because our background color for our scaffold is actually pure white. Yeah, that's one issue that we're having. I think best way to actually do this, I can actually change the background color to something else, to a different color. I think we can make use of a color like this. Yeah, side background color. I think we just make use of that one and then use it in here as brown colors dot, then paste that. If you save this, okay, yeah, there we go. Should I see that visible? So that's working. That's how it should actually be. Should be showing. But we got some issues to fix later on. But for now, let's kind of like see how to work with this. Let's see. Okay. Okay. First of all, let's minimize the padding, the margin that we're giving to this. So I can just say 20. What about 10? Let's say what about 15? Just go with 15. We can show just this more darker one on it. Remove this from being blue to something much better. You can actually see that the border radius is being applied, but it's not actually much very visible. We can actually add a border. What am I even saying? We could add elevation to it. I think containers has elevation, or we just use border shadow, box shadow on it. Container elevation, I don't think it has one. It's only a card that has elevation. Yeah, I know it doesn't have an elevation, but it has a box shadow elevation. It doesn't work, but we could just use box shadow. and save this. Now you can actually see the box shadow being added around it, so the whole part of it is having this box shadow. If you actually want to make this much better, we could just remove the yellow path we have here, and just make it the same background with the background we have here, so the user won't notice what we're actually doing, because animation is some kind of like sometimes trying to make something in a way that user will not notice what you're doing here. Not that user will not notice what I mean, like they won't see the background effect of how the animation is actually working behind the scene. So that's what I mean. But they will know that whenever you tap on something, okay, there's an animation going on, okay, something like this happening here. But that one is different. Yeah. So we have the rounded around it. It's basically something we have right in here. Is there any other stuff we are supposed to work on? Yeah, I think one of them should be, because yeah, let's go ahead and fix some issues right now. So if we restart this, you can actually see how this is coming in. That doesn't look good. So one way you can actually do this is to make this to slide in from the left and then go out. So this is how to do that. So let's say that so this container, right? Inside the container we have these columns or bars that we are adding. So we want a way to either hide the bars or allow the bars to all slide in at the same time. That's a way to solve this, and that will be either inside our animation. So which animation is controlling this? Is animation controller 2 that's controlling that. So I will say for animation controller 2, I will have a transform animation on it. Yeah, a transform animation on it. That will work. The similar animation that we did for our box right here. For bars, you can actually see the translate animation that we're doing right here. So we're going to use a bottom up animation. So copy that particular animation, bottom up animation, copy this. We go over here, we can actually say this animation can only be visible, or we can actually say this animation can only happen when, let's copy the remaining part before we actually go into the details. I feel like we have spent so many hours trying to fix get this to work. I think that's because we had some issues, errors that came up. So over here, yeah, so animation, this should be animation controller 2. Nice. And I want this animation to start from 0.30 and end at 1.0. I don't know if I'm correct. So you can actually say let's start from 0.70, and if that is the case, then I can use the transform translate animation that we used here. Just copy the transform translate, then over there, then we can just transform the column that has all these boxes. All of them will appear at the same time, and then say wrap with transform dot translate. And what we are saying that offset is not offset. So we can just say offset right here, and this button up -2, this is on y-axis, so we don't need the animation on y-axis. So just say that the y-axis should remain 0.0. Nothing happens in there. But what we need to translate is the other one. Yeah, the x-axis, which is this one. This should only happen. Okay, that's pretty fast. Let's see how do we fix that to actually work much better. Let me say that I have this to be at 2.0, make this to be constant. 9.0. Okay, keep on going that way. Start being at minus 9.0, minus 90.0. Okay, that will be off the screen. Yeah, minus 180.0. About minus 230.0. Then multiply that will be multiplied by our button of animation.value. Then that needs to, the offset needs to go away. No way. Okay, there's an issue. Okay, we won't notice much here. Another better way to do this would be, okay, you can actually do the whole calculation in here. Let's say we want this to begin from minus something minus 200 all the way to 100. Okay, minus 200.0 all the way to 100.0. Okay, that's much better, but this went off the screen. So okay, the row is overflowing by 11 pixels. We show the row is overflowing by 11 pixels. Let's see. Okay, incorrect user parent data. That we messed that up. Sex box, kind of forgotten. And there should be media query dot width media query dot width. Okay, now okay, this is still being overflowed. Come on, think 130 pixels on the right. Let's try something else. I'm gonna try flexible, but I doubt flexible. Oh, we can actually use fitted balls. Flexible. Come on. I think I've forgotten. I still need to remember. Should be flexible. How do you spell it? Flexible again. Okay, we have the incorrect use of parent data right here. Okay, that's a bad one to use, bad idea. Thinking what we are doing wrong, right? Yeah. Top. Okay. This the container. Let's give this a color and let me see. If we give it a color, change, we should be able to see what went wrong. Color start amber. If we save that. Okay, so we can actually verify that the issue is the row is the one causing the main issue right here. Come on. Now we have the same render issue again. Okay, this one has to be stuck in here, but we're really trying hard not to get stuck. So we have a column widget. Inside the column we are having let's search for this. It's definitely something I'm missing. I couldn't remember how to get past that right now. Cannot have my brain jammed together. Let's see. It should be sent over for this one. Error in the test. No, not this. But at least it should give us a sign where this is happening. Then we can actually know what to do there. Yeah, I can actually say the shard of this row should be flexible. Okay. In this case, let's go ahead again. Remove the size box I added right there. And I'll save this. And then go ahead and make the shard. Not this column, the shard shouldn't be expanded, but basically this one. So the shard should be expanded. So if we do that, so this is what we are going to have. So if we restart this, so the error goes away. Okay, now see. So yeah, it should make sense right now. Yeah, and the same we actually need to use expanded on the second shard, or we could actually go ahead and use flexible on both of them to just resize their sizes depending on what works. I'm definitely going to cause an issue. Yeah. So if you use flexible on that, I think that should be our best option. Yeah, let's go. You just go ahead and try this first. Make sure that works. Then wrap this with flexible. After wrapping this with flexible, we have to do that to the next one we're going to see, which is this. I think also wrap this with flexible also. Then we're going to end up with something that we don't like. Come on. Come on. We could actually do it another way, whereby we can just animate the children property that should show up when the parent is actually shown up. So I can actually turn them to visible or turn them off until the animation has completed or something like that. But I don't think that's the right way to do this. Let's see. Container. Why did I even add a container? Okay, I just added a container for it to be. Let's see. Come on. I think I've hit the main error. Trying to figure this out, but pissing me off right now. Getting pissed off with this, so this should let's see. I'm trying to test something, so I could just remove the column that we added here. Replace that with a child property. Let's add this for now to do some tests. Go. So we're trying to expect the widget that is kind of throwing these errors to see what we are doing wrong. Okay, so we have to get this. We tried so many options. We tried flexible. Okay, let's try something new. Remove the fitted boss. So the issue was the width that we actually applied in here, so that was causing the issue. So we restart this, then we have the same problem. So now we got something. Let's go back and revert all the changes that we made there. We don't need the changes anymore. Go back and revert every single one of these. Just basically reverting every single thing that we did back. And if you go back and remove this and add the width to be 280, see, we don't have that issue anymore. The issue is no longer showing up, but that's not what we are looking for, so we still need our animations to be added. Just say 1.1, say 1.4, 1.2, or much better, I could just remove the whole stuff for now. Just remove the whole stuff and animate it better this way. Let's say width, then animation value, animation 2 value, which is just the width that we're animating. We say this should start from 0.0 to 280. 280.0. Okay, that's too much. Come on. So we have that. Now we should be able to have this full width. It's an hour and we're still here. Nothing changed. Okay, guys, we kind of like I will need to try one more time, and if it doesn't work, so we should need to move this stream to tomorrow, next day. Just need to check up and see what's going on. We already completed the whole sidebar. Just need to actually see how trying to make sure that the user is not getting an error. Normally the user wouldn't know what is going on because there's no error showing on the screen. So if you kind of like restart this, the user won't notice any error because the screen is not showing any error or something like that. But within our app, we know that something is wrong, and we are trying to fix that within ourselves. So that's the reason why we are still stuck here. I'm trying to make sure that this is working properly, and we're not having these errors. And therefore, right. of rule. Okay, this is actually it's actually messing me up right now. My head, come on, just work. What is that we are doing wrong? We continue. These have expanded width. These to be flexible. Come on. Okay guys, looks like we are going to be stopping here for today. Be hitting one error at a time, like kind of more, but we can just continue going on like this, or else we cannot keep on going through the whole row, the whole stuff again, from one error to another, and trying to get this to actually work without having this error displaying here. Like I said, the main stuff is actually not get this console error printed out to us, because for the user who noticed what's going on, it still works fine for the user who is viewing the app, but for us who is kind of like who are coding the app, we already know that something is wrong. So that's the part we are trying to make sure that it doesn't happen, or trying to fix. So for that reason, so what we could do is just to move this tomorrow and try again tomorrow, hopefully. Yeah, of course we should be able to have this to work tomorrow. Yeah, but apart from that, I'll be stopping here for today. So guys, have a nice day everyone, and see you guys next time tomorrow. And I should be able to have some part of it running, and we should be able to get it to work also. So have a nice day everyone. If you actually know a way to fix this, you think that there's something we are missing, just let me know. But I think there's something I'm doing wrong within the row widget, but I couldn't actually